Hi, my name is Antti Hena and I'm a Principal AI Advisor at SAS Finland. I work with all our Nordic customers related to analytics and AI topics, especially banks. I also work with colleagues from UK and Germany who handle some of the biggest banks over there. And through these collaborations, I came across our AI Bank program. And I'm really excited to tell you about it today, since I think it nicely brings to life the benefits of hyperautomation we are able to offer for banks. In hyperautomation, we are making significant progress with our customers. Here is one example of a tier 1 bank where we managed to bring their mortgage application process from 30 days to 3 days while creating a double-digit return on investment. We have also started the journey towards intelligent hyperautomation in a couple of Nordic banks, where we are, for example, prioritizing loan application customers with hyperautomation. With AI Bank, we have created a vision for hyperautomation. But these days, everyone has a vision for the future. While it's not easy, it is relatively easier path. So what we have done, and most of all want to achieve with AI Bank, is something concrete. Not just talk, but walking to walk with our customers through this highly complex process of digital transformation. Now, before diving into what the AI Bank is, few facts. The world is going digital. In 2020, the World Economic Forum stated that companies have to go digital or go bust. However, already by the end of 2021, 96% of enterprise businesses had a digital-first business strategy, according to IDC. And what is interesting about that is that this again meant a much more focus on efficiency, which is now at the top of the priority list, in addition to things like hyper-personalization. And of course, COVID and the recent political situations have driven the need for efficiency even further. Customer behavior is also changing. I, as a customer, will probably not contact my bank in traditional hours. And if I'm comparing banks, I'm not comparing them just against other banks. I'm comparing them against other digital experiences. Research also shows that 2 out of 3 customers will leave after a single bad experience or waiting for more than just a couple of minutes. Despite this, 80% are not willing to give up the human connection, as banking is about my financial wellness, and which is a highly personal topic for me, and I expect someone to be on hand to support me whenever needed. Until today, most of the work in this area has been about RPA, robotic process automation. It offers great efficiency when automating existing processes. However, you can digitize processes, but you cannot really make them digital. You can automate linear steps, do A, then B, but it's difficult to inject real experiences and intelligence into the processes. You can only start doing that and creating real intelligence when you inject AI into it. And that is what Gartner means with hyperautomation, a term that encompasses business process management, cloud, AI, and RPA. However, this story is not about technology itself, but connecting different data and analytics to the front end. Connecting possible silos within the organization, like risk, fraud, customer intelligence, and even anti-money laundering. Because that is the heart of the digitalization process, enablement of the whole organization. I have talked a lot about automation, and sometimes automation can be even a little scary. I have yet talked to a person who wants their job automated away, or a customer who actually wanted to talk to a bot. Therefore, automation is just part of the story. And there are some good quotes here. Everything that can and should be automated will be automated. Everything else must be augmented. McKinsey believes that 60% of tasks in knowledge-based industries can be automated, but only 5% end-to-end. That leaves 95% that need to be augmented somehow. Now let's go back to the mortgage application process example I had in the beginning, where we went from 30 days to 3 days. Now it would be technically possible to automate that decision entirely with land registries, satellite data, flood risk information, property evaluation. But the question is, do you want to? Do you want to lend an individual €500,000 to €1,000,000 without guiding them through one of their most important financial decisions in their life? So where do you draw this line between automation and augmentation? Is going to be a huge part of your digital strategy. Ultimately, your agents and branch specialists should be talking to customers, whatever the channel, not wasting time asking the same questions again and again. Instead, they should be powered by hyperautomation, silently working in the background, and composite AI to listen all possible channels for information. And it needs to happen in real time so that the end customer feels heard, valued, and understood. Now let's look at another challenge that can impact an organization's ability to truly digitalize. Probably you have seen something like this before, and whatever your view is on the specific number, I think we can all agree that there is a challenge out there and that all companies are either feeling in their wallets or in frictions and bottlenecks when trying to stay agile. Consequently, tech has to evolve to empower everybody based on their own role. And this is commonly referred to as no-code or democratization. It means that access and control are equitable for all in the organization. Because all people need to be enabled within your chosen automation landscape, and that is where SaaS differentiates itself. Having these multimodal tools on enterprise scale is critical because tech should not be determining who can do what, where, and when. That is not going to work if you are going to build a digital organization for the future. And this lands us on the final quotes. So 70% of new applications developed by enterprises will use low-code or no-code tools by 2025. I said in the beginning that AI Bank is about setting a vision, and you see that vision now here. The essence of it is that can we automate every and any decision of a bank across the complete customer lifecycle? At the center, you can see the operational and analytical automation forming the core hyperautomation engine, with then SaaS solutions plugged in, generating that industry specialized flavor to accelerate integration. Another key component for accelerating integrations are the fintechs and the concept of composable banking. As of today, there are more than 25,000 fintechs in the world, and that is a complicated landscape to navigate. The question of which fintechs fit, their philosophy, their stability, their ability to execute even, are questions we know for a fact our customers are expending huge amounts of energy to understand. While there are no single correct answers to this, we wanted to shine a light on some of the possibilities. So once again, our story comes back to our ability to connect to an ecosystem, to different parts of organization, to create a seamless digital customer journey through this decisioning platform. Rather than just talking talk, I will try next and walk a little bit of that walk mentioned in the beginning by showing you what the AI Bank looks like today. And I encourage everyone to think, what kind of integrations would you like to implement like this? We have built some examples into the platform, but they're just that, only examples. The whole point of the demo and the platform is to showcase the possibilities of integrating AI, fintechs, SaaS solutions, and any other sources into a seamless digital customer experience. In order to show you these capabilities, we have built a simple front end, but again, it can be changed to your website, app, price comparison portal, whatever. And you can think of the front end as an iceberg that only has a little bit visible, but most of it is actually underwater. And the same thing here. We are not typically providing front ends. We are providing the intelligence underneath that makes all of this automation possible. This is how the AI Bank platform looks like today. The front end is a fully functional website meant to reflect an online banking platform. But again, it can be changed to your website, app, or price comparison portal. All the intelligence is running on Sasvaya in the background, and everything is sitting inside Azure Cloud. If I express my repeated interest in certain products, let's say credit cards, our customer intelligence solution works in the background and can create personalized images and text for better user experience. To see all the components working in the background, let's look at the app page. At the bottom, you see all the unbundled components which refer to different SaaS solutions working in the background, like KYC, CDD, risk, customer intelligence, and fraud management. Above, you see different fintechs we have integrated. In this video, I will cover Nichirium, Tink, and Authentic. From these components, we can start creating various types of customer journeys. Today, I will cover loan origination and retail onboarding. As I open the loan origination app, the interface changes slightly as it loads Microsoft Power Apps that is used as an embedded element on the site, just to illustrate that the front-end interface and the back-end intelligence are decoupled. In this case, I'm interested in buying a new car. There are many things we can predict in advance, but the type of car that the customer wants to buy is not one of them. But let's say I would like to get a 90k Tesla as my next car. If I'm not an existing customer, I would need to give some basic information in order to get the loan. For existing customers, majority of this information could be pre-filled based on customer database. And my requested loan amount is 40k. Now we encounter our first fintech integration. The bank can ask the customer whether they would like to use open banking to speed up the process. Before, evaluating the customer's ability to pay has been quite a cumbersome process, as the customer would have to send salary or bank statement information to the bank. Now, if the customer agrees, we can use a fintech like Tink to pull financial health information from other banks in real time. Tink is one of the largest open banking providers in Europe and nowadays part of Visa Group. So after the bank gets final confirmation from the customer, a credit scoring machine learning model takes all the inputs and gives a real-time decision for the loan and calculates the appropriate interest rate. To appreciate all the automation steps happening in the background, we need to look at the event log that we are constantly recording as users interact with the site. So here we see the page clicks and simple business rules that are running against the information we provided. Then we also have more complex things like calculated probability of default, risk adjustment rating pulled from Tink, and different checks that are happening against the Tink information. The bank can check the median monthly income, whether there are any gaps in the income, or do the outgoing amounts exceed the incoming amount, and calculate the ability to pay. Based on the transaction classification, we can also check for behaviors that might indicate a risk, like total gambling amount. The bank might want to decline, for example, a loan if it's supposed to be for a car, but the amount is something like 3k and it's late on Friday night and there's a history of gambling behavior. The final step is to get the money to the customer's bank account. So let me show you how an onboarding can happen in real time. Depending on country, there can be different options and providers how this should be done. For German market, for example, Authentic can be a useful eKYC provider. It is able to scan name and address information easily from the passport without having the customer to provide any information. To avoid using my real passport for the demo, I'm going to use some pre-filled information. And when I hit submit, the account is created and the money is deposited to the account. And it seems simple, but the hard part is hidden behind the scenes. So let's look at the event log to see what is actually happening. We see that the customer is first scanned against internal watch lists, and if no matches are found, the system checks Ethereum, the third fintech integration here, for any watch list matches. Based on all the available information, a due diligence score, a CDD score, is calculated. If significant risks are detected, onboarding can be put on hold and transferred to a manual process. We can also monitor things like excessive amounts of copy and paste, which could indicate a person is pasting from a spreadsheet of hacked information, or if there are any irregularities in the IP address information. However, in this case, everything looks good, so we can go ahead and approve the loan for the customer, and they can get the money into their account in real time. So, in summary, we saw how the customer was interacting in the site, and it was personalized on the fly. Using our hyperautomation capabilities, the customer got a loan offer and was able to be onboarded in real time as all the necessary background checks were happening behind the scenes. I'm happy to help if you want to understand possibilities of hyperautomation and AI further. And as always, thanks for watching.